Do not forget that in every episode now, in the show notes, there is a link to this exact episode on YouTube. If you want to switch to video, see the whole experience, you can now go directly to this episode that you are listening to right now on YouTube. And when you do, you can see I have a new drinking apparatus. This will be a treat for my YouTube viewers. I was trying to decide, you could do a martini glass. I was trying to think what would fit the vibe of this podcast. Could do a martini glass. I could do a mug with an inspirational scripture on it. I could do that. I have decided for something else. I'm not saying what it is for people who insist on just ignoring my YouTube channel and its greatness. I'm not saying what it is. You have to click and look up this YouTube episode. It's Caitlin. Have you ever seen me display anything more on brand?
Oh no, that's perfect.
Literally no. Especially that I couldn't even do the podcast last week because my life unraveled to such an extreme degree. So here's my drinking thing. Okay, you guys, I just got this. I just opened the box. I've never actually tried drinking from it. There's a strap getting in my face. Okay, hang on. Okay. And I have my iPad under me. Okay, I cannot spill on this iPad. Okay, hang on. We're doing it. It's happening. Okay, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, yeah, all right, we did it. Yes, cheers. I'll get you one, Caitlin. You'll have one as well. Here it is, the most on-brand thing any podcast host has ever done. These lesser podcasts that you listen to, they have their like liquid death cans of water, or they have water bottles or boring coffee. I defy you to find a podcast host that has a better drinking vessel. I defy you. This is only on this podcast. Listen, I earn the 5 views that I get on YouTube every week. I deserve every single one of them. So, all right, here we go. This, as you know, we did not have an episode last week. My life is just so insane. It was like I was on 2 shows in Austin. The last 2 times I had been at each of these venues, I had bombed. This is when I am on shows that other people organize with a whole bunch of comedians, so nobody in the audience knows who I am. And Austin is a comedy aficionado scene, so you walk on stage and the audiences are like, well, we watch Kill Tony. We'll see if we think you're funny. And I mean, if you don't shout like 3 racial slurs and, like a couple of other, say the R word or something. I mean, it's very hard to get laughs. And obviously I don't do that. So I was determined not to bomb. And then Sunday, so that was Friday, Saturday, I was on shows. Sunday was Pammy's birthday. And then Monday, I took Pammy and her friends on a trip. We will, we'll talk about that later. That's a whole, that's why I have this drinking vessel. I've earned it. This is my life. And so anyway, so we'll get to that. That's one of the intro topics. As usual, I hit the main topic first, and then we get to the intro topics. Here's the main topic. Caitlin, play that video about the capsule wardrobe. There's this woman. She's British or something. She has one of those accents, British. She's probably British. And she's so classy. And she has her life so together. And I follow her on Instagram. Her name is Alex Collins. And every time I see her, I'm like, this is it. I'm not doing this anymore. This whole being me thing. I'm done. I'm going to be exactly like this woman. And you know what? Big change coming up on the podcast, because I'm going to be like, hello, I have my capsule wardrobe and my minimalist house, and you guys really need to get it together, honestly, because my life is actually pretty organized now. And then I'd have a different drinking vessel. Then I would have the mug with the scripture on it, because it would just be like, that's, I just have a pretty organized life over here. Okay, so play this video. I just want you to know, I was watching this and saying, no, this is me. This is my new personality. I'm doing this. This is me. Okay, watch.
I'm going to help you build the ultimate summer capsule wardrobe.
Here's everything you need. Starting with tops.
A linen shirt in white and a blue stripe. A basic t-shirt in white and black. A white vest top. A waistcoat in a neutral colour.
Bottoms.
Shorts are an absolute essential in the summertime. I suggest a pair of blue denim and a tailored pair of shorts in
This is
white
me. This is my
and
future.
black. White linen trousers and a skirt in a neutral colour.
Dresses.
A long white shirt dress, a long black dress, or you can get them short if you prefer.
Now, I did have to pause a little bit there. There was this moment of like, oh, this will never work. Like, you can't. Because you guys know I have a thing with dresses. I can't have the skin on my legs like touching each other because it bothers me. And dresses make me feel like I'm wearing pajamas, and often they don't have pockets. And I put everything in my pockets, and I can't not have pockets. The level at which I lose everything if I don't have pockets. I would not own possessions if I did not have pockets. I mean, there's one way for me to have a minimalist house, just not have pockets, because I would lose everything. So I did already. I was like, ooh, dresses probably can't in the summer wardrobe. She had some British word for tank top, and I also couldn't do that. I can't wear sleeveless because I have a thing about my arms. They're very long, and I think it makes it look too long, and then it's like, and it just feels like my shoulders are exposed, and then I get cold. So I mean, already it's falling apart. Already there are some red flags that maybe my brain doesn't work this way, but I'm undaunted. I'm like, nope. I'm even going to speak in this accent like hers. Like this, this is my future. We're looking at my future right here. Okay, go ahead.
Kits.
A lightweight cardigan and a lightweight neutral blazer.
Shoes.
A pair of tan sandals, black sandals, nude wedges, ballet flats, and a white pair of trainers.
Accessories.
A belt in black and tan, sunglasses, and a basket bag. I hope this helps.
I mean, the shoes were also depressing. I wear size 12, so there's no just, I'll just run out and get, no, I have to go to the specialty freak store that's like obviously for men who dress like women, and then it like doesn't look cute. So I don't know why. That of all videos, I don't know why I'd be like, oh yeah, that could be me. But I loved the idea of capsule wardrobe because my closet is small. You guys know we live in a 1,900 square foot house, all 8 of us. It's a small house. And my closet is small, and I share it with my husband. You can walk in it like one step, but it's not like a walk-in closet. It's a walk-in closet in the sense you can literally take one step inside. And I share it with my husband. Do heterosexual men need fully half of a closet? I might say they do not, but we have lived in this house for almost 20 years now, and for some reason I only get 50% of the closet. Joe insists on taking up fully 50% for like shirts he never wears. It's like, his from a fraternity party from 1992 or something. It's like, okay, whatever. So the point is, I don't have a lot of closet space. And so when I saw this capsule wardrobe thing, and I've also been, the algorithm has been showing me a lot of minimalist content. And when I saw this, I was like, this is my new life. Like, this is what I'm doing. Because I love the idea of just having a small number of clothes. And then I mix and match them. That's another term. I think it's so cute that people who are not neurodivergent and just, they just do these cute things with their lives. They always talk about, I have a few select quality pieces and I mix and match. I'd love to be able to say that sentence. Like if I tried to live that life, it would be like, man, I bought this bleep and I don't know where it is. And like, I'm trying to, it's just mix. It's only mix. Nothing matches. I can find one shoe and then like I'm cursing and I'm sweating. And so I can't, but I like the idea. And I got it in my head that this summer, like I don't tour during the summer. I'm home all summer. I was like, I'm having a capsule wardrobe. That's what I'm doing. And I very quickly realized why that's not going to work. And it's not just a neurodivergence thing. I realized for any kind of minimalist lifestyle, whether it's capsule wardrobe or having your house be super uncluttered and just lots of open spaces and everything has its place, and like this spoon has a home over here. Where does this spoon live? Oh, it lives over here. There's a certain trade-off that comes with that, and that is time. a lot of people on social media make it seem like clutter is kind of a moral issue. That, well, some of us just care about our homes and the people who live in it. So we don't have any clutter in our houses. And I, for a long time, I kind of bought into that. I was like, man, I just suck. Like, this is just not, this isn't working. But what I've really realized, it's just a time decision. Everyone has a decision to make about how much time do you want to spend messing around with the physical objects in your home and their places and their cleanliness. Obviously, this is a spectrum, and you can fall anywhere on that spectrum. So on the one hand, I think we would all agree you can't live in a hoarder house. If there are actual piles of trash and just junk everywhere, you're not spending enough time on it. You need to spend more. But on the other hand, some people can go all the way to the other side of the spectrum. They have their wardrobe is a capsule wardrobe. There is no clutter. Their house is minimalist. And if that is how they choose to spend their time, that's great. But these are inversely proportional things. As minimalist closets and homes increase, like as the level of minimalism increases, the time messing around with all this stuff, the time that you have left over for other things decreases. And I know I feel out in the ether the comments coming towards me. I feel them. I've been on this internet game for 20 years now. I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, no, Jen, that's not true, because when you have less stuff, it's less stuff to clean. It's less stuff to mess around with. I hear that. And see, that's what I used to buy into. It's like, oh, I'd have so much more free time if we just got rid of all this junk. But that is not what I have actually found in my life experience. I have found it does save you a lot of time to let your house have a little bit of clutter, because it just takes time, especially if you have more than one or two kids. People are just bringing stuff into the house unbeknownst to you. It just, even when they're little, somehow, I would, we'd tell the grandparents or whatever, like, hey, we're trying not to have too much stuff in the house. I turn around, it looks like a Toys R Us exploded in our living room. And I just, and in that case, it's not just time, but it's also mental energy. Is it really worth going to battle with the grandparents who are really enjoying, my mom went to the arts and crafts fair with her friend and she really enjoyed buying that little bunny with the cowboy hat on. It's like, it's just not worth the political capital and the mental energy that I would spend to make a huge deal out of her buying some knickknacks at a fair when I was trying to be minimalist in my house. So what I have actually found from many years of life experience is that I think it actually takes way more time and energy out of your life to have a minimalist home, to do the capsule wardrobe thing. And again, if that is how you want to spend your time, if that blesses you, if that brings you peace, to be messing around with the stuff in your house all the time, that totally fine. That I think that is actually some people's blue flames, is organizing, getting everything tidy, clean, tidy spaces. Truly, it's wonderful. But it's not a moral thing. In fact, I think the only places where you get into moral right and wrong territory are on the two extremes of the spectrum. Obviously, if you have a hoarder house, there is a moral issue. Like you are doing something objectively wrong, and you should get help. But I have also seen houses that are so perfectly, like every spoon has to go exactly where mom says it goes. I would say there's a moral issue on that end of the spectrum too, that like we're getting into mental illness territory. You're driving everyone crazy. Y'all need to stop too. The people who are way, way, way on the extreme of the everything perfectly in order all the time spectrum. So, but as long as you're not on one extreme or the other, I would say that these aren't moral issues. It's just a matter of how do you choose to spend your time. So that is the main topic. As usual, we will get to that in the latter half in the show. In the beginning of the show, I'll tell you about me doing a girls' beach vacation for Pammy. That was fine. I will try to talk about sock curls because I know that is everyone's priority based on what I'm seeing on Instagram. We have so much good stuff, and welcome to the Jen Fulwiler Show. This is the podcast where you learn the art of the village hustle. That's being a hot girl boss, or hot boy boss who knows that love and family and community are the foundations for all true success. I'm your host, Jen. I am a stand-up comic, best-selling author, and mom of 6. Yes, I did have 6 babies in 8 years. We are coming to you from the sweltering den of heat, Austin, Texas. And we publish new episodes every Wednesday, except when I am losing my mind because I'm so busy I cannot even think straight, like last week. That was a good rerun, though, I have to say. On the audio version, we did a rerun. And you can join the Patreon. We do weekly bonus content there. It's a lot of fun. We have a couple different levels depending on how generous you would like to be with your Patreon contribution. Patreon.com/thisisjen is where you sign up for the Patreon. That's patreon.com/thisisjen, where you can get premium bonus content. And of course, this podcast is available on all the audio platforms, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, whatever. But mainly we like for you to know it is available on YouTube. And as I said at the very beginning, there is a link in the bottom where in the show notes where you can pull up this exact episode if you want to switch over anytime. I do recommend it because we have a lot of video on this one, a lot of video. And the capsule wardrobe thing I just played, that was also video. And of course you need to see the most on-brand drinking apparatus that any podcast host has ever had. Let me know in the YouTube comments if you guessed what it was. Anyone who's been following me for a long time probably guessed. I think they were like, yeah, that's, I mean, there's only one thing. Speaking of which, hang on, let me, the thing is I can't take quick sips with this because like the leather strap will hit me in the face. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, it's done. Hang on. Okay. I need to get used to it. Look, it will be more smooth. It will be more smooth as we learn to use this. It's just about every other podcast is like they have the branded water from whoever is sponsoring it. That's my sponsor. There you go. That's who sponsored it. Okay, let's talk about. So I mentioned that when I had my New York City show in May, I took 4 of my kids up to New York City. So they got to go with me to that show. That was very cool. They got to walk around New York. But Pammy and her younger sibling did not get to go because they just weren't old enough to walk around New York alone. And I needed everyone to be able to do it. So Pammy got a beach vacation that in true Pammy style, it turned out to be much, much more epic than I thought it would. So I still owe my youngest. He now needs a trip too, although he got his trench war. So I was talking about that on the Village Hustle Patreon. Something fell apart with his trench war, and I think he handled it really well. That's on episode 94 of the Village Hustle Patreon. I was talking about what happened with the trench war, and I was just so impressed with how he handled it. So Pammy wanted to go to Port Aransas, it's in Texas, and it's really great beaches. Texas beaches can be hit or miss, and Port Aransas though it was great, and so it was 3 of her friends, including Caitlin's daughter, they were all just lovely. And one thing, you hear a lot about Gen Z just wants to be on their phones all the time. These young kids, all they want to do is look at their phones. I wish these girls were so active. Caitlin, it was like, we would like get up and we would go somewhere. Oh, we go to the aquarium. Oh, now we want to see this thing. Oh, now we go back. Now we need to go to the beach. And I was thinking when they were at the beach, I could just chill. It just didn't occur to me like, oh, I guess I have to like be at the beach and watch them. I was what? And then they're like, let's go to this restaurant. Oh, it's really crowded because it's a very famous restaurant. Oh, we have to park 5 blocks away. Don't worry, it's only 110 degrees with the heat index. And we go to this restaurant. Oh, now we need pictures on the beach. They wore me down. I was like, can we just look at our phones? I'm Gen X over here. I'm like, listen, I didn't realize how much time a day I spend on my phone until I couldn't, because these 14-year-old girls were dragging me all over Port Aransas. And so we get to the beach, and this, I would really like to know if people, it seems like people who are not me anticipate problems with being outside more than I do. I am always surprised when I get outside and I'm like, oh, here are 10 things I should have brought. Like when I tried to do a beach trip like a couple years ago when Joe was down in Houston for some sailing stuff, I was like, I'll take the kids to the beach. We get there and I was like, oh, I should have brought water or sunscreen or towels or snacks. I mean, yeah, I kid you not. My brain doesn't work that way. I ended up door dashing in Postmates. Like I had Postmates like bring some water. I'm like, can you buy towels? But we're on this huge stretch of beach where there's nowhere to drop it off. So I had to describe a post to the Postmates driver. I was like, there's like a post that has some orange spray paint on it. I will be the 6 foot tall albino woman wearing a black swimsuit and pearls. I mean, you really can't miss me. I will say that. And so I had to just describe where they would meet me. And it's interesting that I feel like you guys would have, thought of that. Towels I should have remembered. Now that's just on me. That's just on me, not remembering towels to go to the beach. But water, I didn't. I just don't think through that, oh, it's really hot and you're going to be in the hot sand and getting really thirsty. I didn't think about that. So this poor Postmates driver had this massive pack of like 24 bottles of water, and then I couldn't carry it either. So my kids, they're like the slaves who built the pyramids, like hauling this water over to our the towel that I had a different delivery driver bring. I feel like this doesn't happen to other people. I tried to think ahead with this beach trip. And so I actually bought on Amazon a tent. And I did forget towels again, but Pammy is really on top of things. So Pammy and Caitlin's daughter, they remembered it. And so the girls remembered towels. I didn't remember one for myself, but whatever. And I remembered food. So I was like, I think maybe I am ready for the capsule wardrobe. I mean, we kind of have it together over here. So I felt like I had thought ahead that we had this beach tent because I felt like I had psychic powers. I was like, what's going to happen when we get out to that beach? There's going to be sun. It's going to be sunny, and the sun will create heat, and I will feel hot, and I will want shade. And I really felt like I needed to high five myself. I was like, man, you've got it together. Like, this is wow. So I got on Amazon. It wasn't too expensive. It said it was a beach tent. Now it was a regular tent that they just like photoshopped the ocean behind it. I thought it might have some special, easy to set up because it's a beach, I don't know, apparatus. Okay, you guys, listen. First of all, this is a Texas beach. This is not California. This is not even the northern parts of Florida. This is a Texas beach. We're low on the line of latitude here. It was so hot. I can't quite describe the heat to you. Here's a question, Caitlin. You're an outdoors woman. Are all beaches gale force windy all the time?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oh, shut up. Okay, I have spent so little time on beaches that I'm like, what is this? What is this? There's a breeze coming off the ocean. But it wasn't a breeze. I mean, this was so much wind. It was so, because we go sailing, and there's not wind right there. So I was like, I know the ocean. Listen, I'll tell you people about the ocean. My husband has a boat. We go sailing. I'll tell you about the ocean. No, this was a different type of ocean than where we go sailing. So there's this massive wind coming in. Friends, I need a sip from my drinking apparatus here. So appropriate. Listen. Friends, have you ever tried to set up a tent as a woman alone in gale force winds. And I went into it with hubris because, my dad was an engineer. My grandfather was an engineer. My mom's a retired mathematician. I mean, I'm a mechanical person. And so I started, I'm like, I've got in my mind, I have Beyonce's Independent Woman playing. I'm like, I don't need no man to assemble this tent. I don't need a man because it's a girls' trip. Like, I will show these girls that women are just as capable at assembling tents in massive wind as a man. Spoiler alert, that's not true, actually. Nobody watching me assemble that tent was like, we need more women in STEM. Nobody. It was, we have some video. In the show notes, there's a link to YouTube, so you can just click right on over and see this. Okay, so I think one of them is called Intro, right, Caitlin? I think that's where I was talking about it. I don't know. Play a random clip. I mean, we'll just...
You want the full reel, or we got wind 1 and 2?
Do 1 and 2. Yeah, let's do 1.
Okay, the instructions are horrible, but they don't give you wind instructions. Like it doesn't talk about the wind. You're supposed to
pause it. And yeah, of course I wore pearls at the beach. Why wouldn't you? I don't. And people are like, why are you so dressed up? I have on a black swimsuit, which, by the way, I got from TikTok shop. You can't see it because here I have a black cover up on. But you'll see the swimsuit later. I got that from TikTok shop, actually. I mean YouTube shop, by the way. And I have on a black hat and then pearls. I mean, it didn't seem that dressed up to me. It just seemed like, why don't you guys dress like that for the beach? Okay, go ahead. So this is me. This is when you can tell in this video, I still had a will to live. I still cared about life. My hat falls off.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll figure this out. Do you see the wind? Do you see the wind? Look at this. Okay, now go to the second video. I mean, this was, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, look, look. This tent almost launched me onto the roof of neighboring buildings. It almost made me airborne. Look at this. I'm trying to put this stick in the thing that's, look, I accidentally filmed it on slow-mo instead of time-lapse. So now it's like, I meant to do time-lapse, but I hit slow-mo. So now this looks so epic. It's this tent billowing. Oh, look, my hat goes off.
You need the yo-ho music in the background.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That, the Norse song.
Yeah.
Yo-ho. Yes. Yeah, the North Sea anthem. Yes. Look, oh, yeah, now my hat falls to the ground. It is actually so appropriate that I accidentally filmed it in slow-mo and not time-lapse. So there's me. Now here's where I'm starting to curse and just like now it's not cute anymore. Now I'm just annoyed. But okay. There were a lot of stable beach tents on that beach. So somebody got it done. Oh, you see, I'm throwing the hat now in disgust. I would love to know how a man would have gotten that done, because look at that. How do you do it? Literally, how do you do it? It's blowing away while I'm trying to stick the stick in the thing. That sounds all wrong. I'm trying to, there's a piece of fabric that you put the pole in, still not sounding good, but it's blowing away from me while I'm trying to do that. And again, you have to understand, guys, I was so hot. And that is where wearing black probably didn't help. Okay, I see that. I agree with that. I think, is there one more? I think there's one more beach video. Oh yeah, there's the full, yeah, okay, play that one without sound. The full reel, because I'll narrate it. Yeah, okay. So this is got the oversized sunglasses on too. So here's me staring, thinking, yeah, I can do this. This is all right. So this is where I realized the wind is going to be a huge problem. I mean, it's a parachute. It's like trying to turn a parachute into a tent. I'm serious. I was almost launched over to Houston. So this is me throwing myself on the tent. So now I'm throwing myself on the tent to try to get it not to blow away. My hat falls down, and that's my sun protection. So now I'm getting sunburned. The tent's getting away from me. I drop my hat. This is where Caitlin's lovely daughter comes and helps. Caitlin's daughter and I kind of got it set up, but it would blow away because we didn't have it staked to the ground. So then I just had to, okay, Caitlin, we have a picture of me just lying on the ground. I texted Caitlin this picture. Look, you can see, look at this. You can see the symptoms of heat stroke in this picture. My face is like mottled, like with a T. Like it's like red and puffy, but inconsistently. I was actually getting heat stroke. And so here's the thing. I couldn't leave the tent because it would blow away. Literally, it was my body weight that was keeping the tent down. And then, of course, what do you think happened? By the time I got that tent all set up, the girls were like, we're ready to go. I was like, oh no. And it wasn't their fault because they had been there for like 3 hours. It just took me that long to set up the freaking tent. And I was like, oh no. This beach day has just started. We have only just begun. And they were like, we're so hot. We're melting. I'm like, I am too, but we did this tent. And by the way, let me just say, I was just talking on episode 94 of the Village Hustle Patreon about the concept of sunk cost. If you are ever trying to have fun with your family at any point in life where you have spent time and money to try to make something happen, you have to understand the concept of sunk cost. It will save your life and your sanity and your family's sanity. That is episode 94 of the Village Hustle Patreon. I didn't even plan to plug that. It's just so perfect. And I'm actually not going to go on that tangent right now. I don't need to go on the sunk cost tangent because it's on Patreon. Episode 94, patreon.com/thisisjen. Okay. So luckily I do understand sunk cost. And I realized that me forcing these girls to get heat stroke with me because I spent so long fighting with this horrible tent was not going to get us anywhere. So I told them they could go back to the condo, which was pretty close. So I said, you guys can just walk ahead. My daughter had a key. I was like, just let yourselves in and I'll be right behind you. See, once again, my brain doesn't think through things correctly. And I was like, I did not ask them to carry enough stuff. So there I found myself on the beach with like multiple bags and bags of water bottles. It was like, had I been a professional Sherpa, I don't think I could have gotten all of this back to the hotel. Oh, and I couldn't use my phone because it was overheating. My phone was overheated, so it was non-functioning. Just a quick aside, keep in mind, there were many other people at this beach who watched this whole thing. And I will say, doing my black dress and pearls and black hat and that whole look that you saw in the video, less funny when it draws more attention to you on the beach. And all of these people they're just like good salt of the earth beach folk. You know, they've had a lot of fun lake days. They probably own speedboats. And to them, it's a very natural, organic process to go to a beach and set up a tent. And for them, I think it was very fluid. It was very effortless. And they had some guys with them. So, you know, there'd just be these groups of 4, 8, 10 people. And they were just like, hey, it's a beach day. Oh, pop, pop, pop. All right, we got our tent set up. Oh, let's have a cold beer and just chat. And, you know, just to talk about the game, talk maybe the NBA draft or whatever. And then they look over at this like witch looking character, this red-headed albino whose witch hat keeps flying off. And I'm like wrestling with this tent and like literally you saw in the video throwing myself on the tent and like turning red. And I know they were all thinking, should we help? Should we? And I blame the entire feminist movement for the fact that no man offered to just come, like insisted on taking this over from me. I know they thought I was trying to be a girl boss. We have to eradicate feminism just for that. So then they see me like walking around the tent trying to figure out, I can't use my phone because it's overheated, trying to figure out how I'm going to get this stuff back. So then I kind of threw myself on the tent again to try to break it down, which was harder than you'd think. You'd think breaking it down is easy. No, nothing with this godforsaken tent was easy. But I kind of threw myself on it enough to wrap it up and walk it over to the dumpster and throw it in there. I just put that tent, and there probably was no oversized trash. Listen, it's time for the trash collectors to be my village. I needed help, and there was nothing else I could do with this tent, and I still had all these heavy bags to carry back. And my point is, I feel like other people don't have experiences like this at the beach. I feel like it is not this hard for other people, but I don't see why. Like, what, you guys just know it's going to be windy? You guys just know how to set up a beach tent? But it was fun. Oh, put up the picture of the girls running on the ocean. See, like, if you were to see this picture, this is my daughter and her 3 friends running. We did beach pictures. I mean, it just looks so idyllic. It looks so perfect. I mean, you wouldn't guess how sweaty and angry I was when I took that picture. I was struggling. I was struggling on that vacation, but we got good pictures that they can post on their Instagram. So that is what matters. Oh man, that was a lot. And you know what? Speaking of Patreon, in the after party that we do, we at all levels, you get the after party where I just keep talking after the podcast. I think what I'll do is talk about how I've learned not to stress too much about kids having fun at, what is supposed to be magical family moments, because I really do struggle with that. Like, I want it to be so perfect and I get stressed out. So we'll talk about this, kind of a tangent on this subject. So we will talk about that in the after party. Where are we on time? Okay. Let me hit a couple of things. What I did right before this podcast, I was just in downtown Austin a couple hours ago. I did this podcast with this local comedian, this guy, Davey. We were on a show together. We just met. And one of the things that I love about comedy is that comedians, there's no small talk. When you're in a green room, everyone just gets to what is the most interesting thing you can talk about immediately. So this guy had said on stage that he was bullied, but he's like a young, cool looking guy. And so in the green room, I said, were you really bullied? And he said, oh yes, I grew up in a religious cult and it was really severe. Literally within 30 seconds of the first time we ever spoke to each other, we're going into religious trauma and why he left religion and like how I went from atheist to Catholic. I mean, like in the first minute of conversation. So he invited me on his podcast, and I just finished taping it, like right now, as we're a few hours before I'm doing this. And it was so fun. It was so interesting. And I actually thought we would go into more controversial Catholic topics. I was ready to go on just contraception and all of that. But we talked about that a little bit, but a lot of it was just talking about just family and kids and how great it is to have kids and how I didn't get that. But okay, get this. I ended up like crying might be a strong word. I mean, tears were coming out of my eyes, so I guess that is crying. But I mean, it got that emotional, and I just met this guy, so that was kind of funny. His podcast is called Friends with Davey. It is not a clean podcast. It is not generally a podcast to like bring up, with the right after the family rosary. But it was great. It was really, really good. And I don't know when that episode comes out. It might be out now, but if you Google my name and Friends with Davey, I'm excited for it to be out there. And here's the reason that I say that is I will tell you this. I was thinking about this as I drove back up here. It feels really good to have found your place and the worlds that you are supposed to be in and move through, and to just be settled into that, and to know I have found my place and I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And that didn't happen for me until, well after I turned 40. So sometimes it takes a while to find that. But I want to encourage each of you to keep trying things, keep doing massive action, keep searching, because sometimes the path that you end up on looks a lot different than what your friends and the people from your church or whatever the path they would end up on. I am regularly in green rooms where there is some drug use, some significant drug use, and they're talking about all sorts of crazy stuff. And as some of the other podcasts that I have been on that I never promoted, because it was just, I did not say anything unhinged, but the people around me were saying very unhinged things. It's definitely a different world that I am in. And I see how most of the people in kind of my primary friendship circles, moms, a lot of Catholics, that's not the world for them. They are not supposed to be hanging out with, in these stand-up comedy circles where all this crazy stuff is going on. But it is where I am supposed to be. And there's just no doubt about it. And it's just wild how natural and seamless it all feels. That here is one sign that you've kind of found the right circles that you are supposed to be in, that you can be completely yourself on all levels, and it just works. It just clicks. For example, when I'm in these green rooms hanging out with stand-up comedians, everyone is genuinely so interested in the fact that I am Catholic. When I first started doing stand-up comedy, I thought that I might have to kind of keep that on the down low a little bit, of course I would never lie about it or deny it or whatever, but I just thought maybe I shouldn't mention that part. But the more I have been bold about the fact that not only am I Catholic, but I'm the whole thing, I'm not like, I pick and choose that. I do a Build-A-Bear sort of Catholicism where I tailor it to my needs, but no, I do the whole, I believe it all. And the more I lean into that, the more the better I fit in this crazy comedy scene. And that is not what you would expect. And you just feel that I don't think I'm explaining this well, but it's hard to explain. It's let me summarize it this way. Don't hold yourself back from God sending you to surprising places. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go. Hit the, yeah. Yes. Okay, there we go. We found it now. Because I listen, I just did a 2-hour podcast with Davey. Okay, so might take me a while to get to my points. Yeah, that's what it is. Don't hesitate for God sending you to surprising places, because a lot of the comedians, and I'm not talking about Davey specifically, but just the people in the Austin comedy scene, they're living different lives than I am. They have different values than I do. They're just everything is different. And so it can be tempting to say, well, that's not where I'm meant to be. That's not, a place that I should be in. But I would say just don't discount it out of hand. Let God lead you to surprising places. And of course, if you get there and it's not good, if I were tempted to be maybe I should get in the drug scene and, then it would be okay, this is not where I'm supposed to be, because it is eroding what I stand for and who I am and my values. But the more I am in these interesting circles of I've got one foot in the Catholic world, one foot in the comedy world, and they overlap in the most interesting ways. And then the mom world and all that. And the more I am in each of these places, the more I feel that I am authentically myself, the more I feel like I can authentically embrace my true values. And that's how I know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. And it's a very good feeling. And keep searching until you find that. And sometimes the place where you will end up that is the right place for you is not on the surface what you would think. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, this is a big divergence here. Sock curls. I was also talking about this on Patreon. You guys need to get into this. If you have hair that is, there are different categorizations of hair, everything from 1A to 4C. If you have, I think, like 3A or under, like, so basically any kind of Caucasian, Asian, you know, sort of hair. Let me tell you, sock curls can make your hair look amazing and save you a lot of time. This is, I was saying on Patreon, this is why I care about this subject so much. Well, one, because I'm vain, but two, second reason, it's a very like village hustle sort of concept because, you know, we, all of us want to be hot girl bosses. Sorry, gentlemen, you're excluded from this unless you have long hair. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're a man with long hair. You got the Viking look going on. I respect it. But we don't have time because you either have a village or you're trying to build one. That's why I think sock curls are it's so like busy village women, you know, because it's a way that your hair can look really hot with very little time. So, all right, pull up the first video. Okay. I'm so excited about this that I'm like talking over myself here. So I curled my hair around socks. I will play a tutorial at the end of this. I curled my hair around socks, like actual socks, clean socks. But you'll see it here in this video. Again, click over from the show notes. You'll see it here in this video. And then I just slept in it. And because it is socks, it's comfortable. It's easy to sleep in. And I didn't know how this would turn out. So I took a video. Okay, play video number 1. I slept in sock curls. No, I'm not done with sock curls. It was not just a phase. So you roll your hair up in socks. Like these are just they're clean, like actual socks. And then this is the first time I have slept with sock curls in. And the idea is that it makes it really skip
easy
to the next video
to have, I don't know, curl.
Okay, here's where I take them out. Look at this. Switch over to YouTube and look at this, for goodness sakes. Look at that.
Oh, whoa, look at that. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
See, and you just roll the sock up. It's kind of hard to explain. Just Google sock curls or search social media for it. Okay, look at that.
Look at that.
That's not bad. That's like a lot of curl, actually. That's going to last all day. Okay, I'm going to take them all out and show you the finished product.
Okay, so for those of you who are ignoring my YouTube channel, imagine like, you know, the Shirley Temple really, really tight curls. That's what it looked like from sleeping in socks. And of course, obviously you can brush them out. Okay, next video is after I've brushed the curls out a little bit. Oh, let me tell you, this took me not even 2 minutes to put my hair in the sock curls, and it was the first time I did it, so I can get that time down. 2 minutes of work, and I have all this body in my hair. Okay, so look, this video is once I have it out.
Okay, this is we need to work with it. Hang on. So you flip it. This is what all the TikTok girls do, and then we brush it out. Let's see how it works when I brush it out.
Look at all that volume.
My hair was very straight with no volume before. It was very just like,
okay, now the last video is this, so pause this one, Caitlin.
Kind of
the last video is after this. The last video was taken about 7 hours after this video here. So this is how these sock curls held up. I was running errands. I was out all day in the sweltering Texas heat. I was outside way more than I wanted to be. And so the next video is how they looked at the end of the day.
Update, I have been out in the Texas heat all day, and I've brushed through my hair multiple times, and these curls are still doing just fine. Look at that. They're not going anywhere. And it's humid, it's muggy. It's hell on earth here in Texas today. And these curls they're fine. Man,
okay.
I need to listen to
because I genuinely care about you guys, I linked to this on Patreon too, but I'm just going to play quickly. This girl, Lucy May Druick is her Instagram handle, DREWEK. She does great sock curl tutorials. And I'm going to play this one just so you get the idea of how utterly simple and quick it is to put your hair in. So watch Lucy May here.
As a girl with pin straight hair, I feel like I've mastered heatless curls that actually last. Hair prep is really important. I like to make sure my hair is thoroughly brushed, and then I take a bit of the Redken's acidic bonding concentrate and just run that through the ends. I feel like it really helps with the longevity.
I'm also pausing it because I don't know about copyright issues here, but I did not put product on my hair, but a big thing people ask is, should your hair be wet or dry? Dry. You do this on dry hair, and it should be somewhat maybe a little bit straightened out, but she puts product on it. Okay, go ahead.
of my curls the next day. All you do is put the end of the sock in your mouth and you literally just wrap your hair around. It's so easy. You want to make sure the hair is flat as you're wrapping it around, and then use that end of the sock to keep that little tuft of hair intact so it doesn't unravel in the night. And just repeat on the other side. You want to make sure that you're pulling the hair really tight. Obviously not so tight that it's uncomfortable.
So you get the idea. You can look up, again, Lucy Mae, Mae Druick on Instagram. She has a lot of great tutorials, but that is how easy it is. That's all I did. And you can do, she does something different on top. You can look it up on YouTube, and I also link to it on the Patreon. But you get the idea. You guys seriously need to try sock curls. It's such a great way to have your hair look great. And it just doesn't take, I mean, it literally takes like 2 minutes, and then you have hair that has a lot of body and it can survive the Texas heat. So many great, how is this podcast free? Seriously. It's like you get stories from my insane life. You get practical insights. Okay. Let's talk about me and my lack of capsule wardrobe. Play the Alex video again, but with the volume way down so that I can comment over it as I just want to tell you guys what like goes through my mind on this. Okay, so play it volume way down.
I'm going to help you build the ultimate summer capsule wardrobe.
So yeah, it's okay. She has a closet in the background of this video, and it's so minimalist, and it has all this great uplighting in it. It has all this, and by the way, see, this is why. Okay, I can't have a house until like this until I have my 10 staff members, because the first thing that comes to my mind is who changes those light bulbs. Yeah. One of those lights goes out. Whose problem is that? Can't be mine. So I'd have a closet like that, but then half the lights would be out, and I wouldn't get around to changing it.
A pair of tan sandals, black sandals, nude.
But it's like she's so organized, and I see these images, and I'm like, she only has 2 belts and 2 purses and all and she just has like 2 shirts and she wears them all. And I went through a phase, and it lasted a solid 10 minutes where I was like, no, this is going to be me. Capsule wardrobe is what I'm about. And then it occurred to me, my life has been so insane, hence me not being able to do the podcast last week, that I had not had a chance to do laundry in so long. And that I have my children do their own laundry, by the way. So that's on them. I think their laundry was fine, but I cannot. I just can't do laundry for this whole house. But so in terms of my laundry and my clothes, it was a long time since I had done laundry. And what I do, like, I have so many pairs of like undergarments and things like that. I have so many pairs of jeans, so many pairs of basic. I have the opposite of a capsule wardrobe. I have like a gazillion pairs of jeans, and it like this right now I'm wearing a black shirt. I have so many shirts like this because I don't have time to stay on top of laundry. And again, I know the minimalist would be like, well, Jen, it actually saves you time because laundry doesn't take so long if you have fewer clothes. Right. True. But there is a harder deadline when it's like, oh, I have a capsule wardrobe. I wore all the stuff this week. She lives in England, where you can probably wear shirts quite a few times before you need to wash them. You know, it's like, it's nice and airy outside. Oh, you put your little tank part of your capsule wardrobe under it. And then you're like, you know, I forget what they call it, like a lolly or something, British terms. And like, oh, and it's like, and you're not sweating, you know, you could wear that shirt again. Listen, in Texas, you wear one item of clothing for 2 minutes. If you go check the mail in that, you're done. It has to be washed. Like, you're done. So I realized, like, if I have a capsule wardrobe, especially in the summer in Texas, I have to do laundry like every 4 days. And if I run it, like, if I get busy and I cannot do that, then like I'm just wearing gross clothes that are like, or I'm going, like I'm wearing my husband's clothes that somehow take up 50% of our closet, that, you know, his old ratty fraternity t-shirts. I just realized, I was like, I cannot have hard deadlines for when I need to do laundry, which I would have if I had a capsule wardrobe. There would be a very hard deadline there. And again, the reason I couldn't do a podcast episode last week is 2 nights in a row. I'm going down to Austin to do these shows. I had to prepare my material ahead of time. I had kids going to doctor's appointments. It was Pammy's birthday. I had to make sure some presents got here and make sure that they got wrapped. And what are we going to do for dinner for her birthday? And then I'm trying to get out of town and we're about to pack, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I don't even have a 9 to 5 and I cannot find time for this. You guys with 9 to 5s, like I truly do not know how you do it. Because I'm so busy all day long, and this is, this job takes up a surprising amount of time, but it's not, in set 9 to 5 chunks. So that's when I realized, like, my closet is a Narnia closet of clutter, of just clothes, and so many, just every time you reach in there, there's a new shirt that you forgot about or pants or whatever. And I need it to be that way because I don't have time to stay on top of my stuff. I don't have time to do laundry on a set deadline. Like, I do laundry every Thursday because that's part of my atomic habits. Like, look, there could be a Thursday where I wake up and one kid is vomiting and another kid is like having a mental health issue and my husband needs me. There's no way. I can't have, set days where I do certain things like that. And I realized the same thing with the idea of clutter or having a more minimalist house as well. I mean, if you have, and I think this does relate to village and the broader concept of openness to life in the broadest sense of the word as well, in the sense that if you are open to life in any way, meaning whether that's you've got quite a few children or you don't have very many children, but your house is a welcome place that their friends feel very welcomed there and can come over. You have people from the community in and out, like my aunt and uncle. They don't have children, but they have people over to their home quite a bit and people from church, and they're very involved. The more open to life you are, the more random stuff is just gonna be in your house a lot. It'll be like, who bought this little stuffed animal? Like, it looks like an egg and it's hideous, but this is trendy with Gen Z now. It's called a skibbity toilet. Like, oh no, you can't give it away because this is so important that they have this. And then there's also like if you have a lot of people around, I don't know whose this is. I have 6 children. I don't know whose this is. Yes, I could figure it out, but I would either have to text this kid individually, or if I send it to the group chat, I mean, people might be arguing about who's going to do the dishes or whatever. So then it gets lost in there. I could ask people individually, but that's, I have to go to each person. Hey, is this your skibbity toilet egg, whatever. And it becomes a very time consuming thing to control all of the items in your house. And I know that there is a way to have a pretty tidy house and be open to life. I've seen it done. I don't know how they do it. I do suspect drugs, but I don't know how they do it. I'm not saying it is impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible at all. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't even be a goal. If that's your thing, great, make it a goal. But I am saying that it takes a very high amount of time and energy to control the amount and locations of objects in your home. To say, like, okay, no, we're not going to have this extra, like there's an extra orange peeler on the counter. Or Caitlin, you've seen, we have a random potato peeler device.
Yeah.
These kids, they love it more than their iPhones. It's crazy how much they love these things. You put a potato in it and you spin it around and it peels it. I don't know where that came from. There are just like elves who just bring things into my house all the time. I don't know where it came from. And this happens all the time when you have any kind of village, any kind of openness to life. It's just, maybe your kid's friend will bring a gift over, or their mom sends over a gift. It's like, hey, thanks for letting my kids hang out all the time. I wanted to send this over. Stuff just multiplies in your house. And the more kind of open to life you are, the more open to having other people around you are. Maybe you let relatives live with you for a while who need a place to stay. Whatever openness to life looks like for you, people come with stuff. All people have just stuff that they like to buy and carry around with them or whatever. And so it is normal that with any kind of openness to life, you're just going to have some extra stuff in your house that other people have brought in. Or in the case of your possessions, it's like, I have extra stuff that I brought in, and yes, I could clear a lot of this out, but I'm so busy dealing with all these people who are in my house all the time. I don't have time to go through every makeup item. Like, okay, I shouldn't have bought those 5 things on TikTok. All right. Like maybe that was no more buying things on 3 a.m. I have to stop. TikTok shop is going to bankrupt me. I have to stop. So yes, I could clear some of that stuff out, but again, like openness to life, having a lot of people around, I choose not to spend a whole lot of time sorting through stuff in my bathroom because there's just other things to do in life. And again, that it doesn't mean that it's wrong for people who do like to have everything really neat and tidy. Fine. You want to spend more time doing that. But it's not a moral right and wrong choice. The person who chooses to spend that time and energy to go ask every single person in the house, is the skibbity toilet egg yours? Because I don't know where I came up with that, but that does sound like a Gen Z thing.
Yeah.
And who spends all this time saying, okay, I made some purchases that I shouldn't have made over the past year, so let's clear them out. Let's make sure that everything is perfect. Let's get our capsule wardrobe. So I have to do laundry tomorrow. I absolutely have to because I'm out of clothes because I have a capsule wardrobe. If you choose to spend your time and energy on that, great. But that is not the morally superior way to live. Some of us choose to spend our time and energy in other places. And what that means is we have less time to mess around with the physical objects in our house. And what that means is there will be some clutter. You're not going to have the capsule wardrobe. You're not going to have the minimalist home. It does not mean you don't care about your home. It doesn't mean you don't care about your family. Quite the opposite. It just means you are making a time trade-off that like, I can't spend this much time and mental energy on stuff. I choose to put my time and mental energy other places. And that's really the main takeaway and the whole reason I wanted to do this particular episode, because with influencer culture, there is this idea out there that we're all exposed to at some point that says that it's that good women, good moms have the capsule wardrobe. Good women, good wives, good moms, good, women who care about their homes. They don't have clutter on their counters. They don't have the pile of laundry upstairs that hasn't been done. They don't have the towels that haven't been folded. They have minimalist homes where there is no extra clutter and everything is just so. That's really not the morally superior way to live. It's really not. It's just choosing to spend your time doing one thing versus choosing your time doing other things. And again, of course, there are extremes. You can't let your house turn into a trash pit, obviously, but we're not talking about going to either one of the extremes. And in fact, I would even say that purchasing perfectly, just never getting that extra item at Target, never ever getting the 3 a.m. TikTok shop purchase listen, Apple Pay, they've got to stop.
Yeah, right.
That combination of online shopping with Apple Pay where it's like, I want it, 2 clicks of a button and it's on the way. They have to stop that. I don't have the self-control for that. Anyway, I would even say that to be able to perfectly control your impulse spending is also a level of time and energy that a lot of us are like, look, okay, occasionally I'm going to buy something I don't need. I shouldn't. I try not to do that. Obviously, as with anything else, you can take it to an extreme. It can get out of control. But I think within the normal course of life, if you're really trying to connect with these people that you live with and love this family and be present for them, and if you have any other, a job, or you're trying to switch careers, or you're trying to discover your blue flame, or like me, you're insane and you have to journal 2 hours a day to stay out of chronic pain and insanity, it may very well be that you just don't have the mental energy to never buy an extra impulse purchase, or to clean out all this stuff, or to have your perfect capsule wardrobe and the perfect laundry schedule that goes with it. You just might not be able to make that time and energy trade-off given your other priorities. And that's what I'm here to tell you on this episode is it's truly fine. Don't feel bad about it. And especially as insane as the past couple of weeks have been, this has been encouraging to me because I have had some moments where I look around, I'm like, what is all of this crap on our living room table? Like, why can't we have nice things? Because I was just on Instagram and I said they have these perfect, like, why don't they have anything on their kitchen counters? Like, what is all this garbage in this? Like, we have a cup and it has a Sharpie and the Sharpie doesn't work and there's a broken pencil. Who put the broken pencil back in there? And I do have moments where I'm like, why can't we have a nice house? And then I remind myself, I am using my time other places. There are other things that I am good at, not just scrolling TikTok. Like, there are actual ways that I add value to my family and to my house, and whether it's pursuing my career, trying to get those comedy millions, just other priorities. Like, I am choosing to use my time other places. And yes, I do wish that we did not have the random box of junk on the counter that I can't quite throw out, because it'll be like our only key to the storage shed was in there or something. So, yeah, I would, in a perfect world, like when I have my 10 staff members, guys, it's going to be a different story. It's going to be laundry all the time, capsule wardrobe. Like, yeah, I mean, when I have my 10 staff members, everything will be different. But until then, when I'm in the sad life of not having the comedy millions and not having the 10 full-time household employees that I need just for my house. I mean, I'm not even talking about my business. I remind myself this when I look around and I see the piles of clutter, and I wish that I too had this Spartan home with all the surfaces are clean and all that. I just say, other priorities. I am using my time and energy in a different place right now. And that is a conscious choice that I have made. When I have my 10 staff members, we will not have random boxes of clutter on the counters. When the comedy millions are here, things will be different. But right now, I have limited resources. I have limited time. I have limited energy. And sadly, alas, I have limited money. Unlike my enemies in comedy, who just they tell a joke about their genitalia and their bowel habits, and they $10 million in their bank. Sadly, that has not been the case for me. So I have limited time, energy, and money. And it's a trade-off. And right now I am choosing to let there be some, a pile of laundry here, some junk on the counter there, because I need to put my time other places in this season of life. And I will tell you guys, it has been very freeing, and it has really helped me, because I used to walk around and be like, man, I suck. Look at this house. Like this. Oh, this is just trash. And I would beat myself up. Like, I got to stop this. I need to have the perfect house. I need to never make an impulse purchase again. I need to. And when I realized, no, it's just a trade-off. I am actually quite consciously using my time in certain places. And that means that I don't have time to organize the junk drawer or whatever. And that's really okay, because it's a good fit for my family. It's a good fit for my personality. We're all thriving generally, not every minute of every day, but generally we are thriving. And I think it's actually working out pretty well. So, and again, maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you are so into having your home be really, really tidy that you don't have time to pursue, to figure out what your blue flame is or whatever. Maybe you realize that actually is your blue flame, and you shouldn't feel guilty either. If you think, oh, well, I see these other women, they're exploring this and that, and I'm like organizing my junk drawer. Look, if that is how you choose to allocate your limited resources of time and money and energy, and if that's if that blesses you to use your time that way, then don't feel bad about it. Yeah, you'll have less time to explore your hobbies or, do a side hustle or whatever, but that's fine as long as it's a conscious choice. So as usual with this podcast, my main point is just, don't beat yourself up every time you see, something that you're not measuring up to this influencer or whatever. Just look at it like, hey, I am allocating my time, money, and energy differently. And that is really honestly okay. Another fine episode here on this podcast. I will admit I was really tired because that Davey podcast was like very emotionally draining. So, we made it. I didn't know if I'd make it through this one. I really didn't. So, go look up my new drinking apparatus on YouTube, and we will be back with you next week, hopefully, if my life isn't totally insane, here on the Jen Fulwiler Show.